All right, for today's video, I'm going to be taking a look at another one of my Junkbots MOCs. I've taken a look at a lot of the official builds for these guys, so I thought it'd be fun to kind of, really explore the toy line and show off some of my own builds because, that's kind of the fun of it. And yeah, this is one that I call Gamble. He's using the Pierre and Hawk body type of the little arcade machine, and I decided to use it like this. I did this build before I had Hawk, who sort of uses it in the same way, where it's upright like this, and it really makes him like this weird sort of like hunchback kind of guy, but not really hunchback because like the head would be coming out of here if it were hunchback, but like just having this like really weird sort of bent little body, I think it just makes for a really interesting vibe. That's one of the reasons I really like this body type in particular. Is it's an interesting object and it has a really interesting shape, so if you use it in different builds, like depending on which way you orient it, it really makes a lot of difference in terms of like the vibe of the character itself there. And I called him Gamble here because obviously he's using the arcade machine, but I've also, both of his hands are kind of similar to like those claw games that you find in arcades and stuff like that, which are definitely a lot more of a gamble than playing Pong on a on an arcade machine. But yeah, he's got the exit sign head there that the Pompier the elephant used, and a few other ones use that one as well. He's got the little compass from Jack Static on his chest here, just to add a little flash of color. The little boot, I really like this piece. I love whenever I can use this piece in builds. And then this other kind of boot, which I'm not sure if it's really supposed to be a boot or if it's just like a piece of metal shaped like a boot, but it functions pretty much the same. And then, the rest of his arms are pretty much just generic kind of machine parts. And then I gave him one of the little locks that you actually use to close up the little like containers that the Junkbots come in, because, if you're unfamiliar, those actually have ball joints, so you can use them on these builds. And I put it here. Really, ideally, it would be sort of nice if there was maybe there is, and I just haven't encountered it yet. But ideally, I would really love if I could have like a little heart piece here, especially for how he functions with the motor module. I think that would be really cool. But the lock kind of functions the same sort of way. Just isn't a heart, but it you can make it a metaphorical heart in a sense. I wanted him to have something there so that it could, well, I'll show it off how it works with the with the motor module, but that's really the main reason that I wanted something there. But yeah, speaking of the modules, first things first, let's get the vibration module out of the way, which I'm fairly certain is just going to make him fall over, because well, okay, he's kind of standing up there. Oh, look at that, he's dancing around a little bit. That actually works better than it has any right to, because usually the vibration module is kind of the lame duck of the modules. But yeah, that worked a lot better than I expected, especially because in this particular build, I find that his leg really has a tendency to kind of topple under his own weight. I might try to find a different part to replace this one that maybe has a bit more of stiffness on the joint, because this is really loosened up over time, and he has a hard time standing, whereas like center of balance wise, he usually, kind of does okay if that joint was just a little bit tighter, and it has been in the past, and then it is just, kind of loosened up over time, because that tends to happen with Junkbots, unfortunately, when they've got their joints under a lot of weight, is they tend to loosen up and then, make it a lot like less stable. But I don't know. If I can find another part to put in there that might be a little bit more stable, then I'll look around for it. But for now, that's okay. And then for the motor module, this was like the one that was the most exciting, and part of the reason I wanted the body to sit up like this is it makes these two bits kind of go in and out, which I really like in the case of him having like a little heart stand in here, because it kind of makes it look like he's got a beating heart, which again, ideally, it would be really nice if that could actually be a heart rather than just a lock in place of where a heart would be, or anything else really in place of where a heart would be. But I think it still works well enough, especially because, he's a robot. He can have a lock as a heart if he wants. But I don't know. I think that works really well. It's subtle. Because of his center of balance, it actually makes him stand up a little bit better to have the motor module kind of on his back like that. But I don't know. I think that was a pretty cool thing, and that's kind of why I wanted to put something there. And then for the LED module, obviously it can plug into all the same places that it can with the other versions of these pieces. You can light up the screen. You can light up the little underside here for the head. You can light up the exit sign. So I guess we can let's just put one in each there, huh? All right, we'll get that one there. This one on the, would stay together here. All right, we'll put one in his head. Where are they underneath? You can put it underneath or on top, I think, for his head, which might have a hard time actually getting this to plug in while we do this, just because they're kind of stretching all over the place. All right, and then let's put this one maybe on the other side to balance it out a little bit. Okay, flip it on, and there we have Gamble all lit up, and I think that works pretty well. Obviously, unfortunately with the exit sign, you can't really get the light in the middle when you have like the antenna plugged in like that. And the screen and the keys, it doesn't work quite as well when you're not viewing it like this, but it still does add a little bit of life to him. So yeah, I think that works fairly well. Though truthfully, I think the most exciting module with this build in particular is the motor module, but it's still cool to see how it functions with the other ones as well. And yeah, in terms of comparisons, here he is with G1 Bumblebee, Kingdom Core class Soundwave, a bot, and Jack Static for the standard Junkbots comparison to see how he fares next to our regular sort of a mascot here for the Junkbots line. And yeah, a little bit taller than him, but pretty comparable average Junkbot size. But yeah, this is honestly one of my favorite of my little MOCs. I think the one thing that would make it a lot better for me is, well, one, finding a heart rather than a lock there, but I'm content with that. But then also maybe finding some other piece so his leg is a little bit less gammy, because he does have a tendency to kind of fall over, which is annoying. But otherwise, I like the look of the build a lot. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to Gamble. If you enjoy my videos, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing. I do videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Without further ado, here we have my Hexbug Junkbots MOC, Gamble.